Welcome to Epilogue Podcast, the show where we discuss some stuff that happened on a different show ages ago which nobody really cares about anymore.
Hello, I'm Portponky.
And I'm LeBloc.
Today we're discussing Deep Space Nine, Season 5, Episode 17, A Simple Investigation. Odo gets involved with a woman, only to find she isn't who she says she is.
How did he not see that coming?
Well, because he's not aware that he lives in a TV show.
He should be. No, that would be terrible.
He's a good detective, but he's not that good. So, this episode opens a whole can of sexy worms about Odo.
It does. It made me think the whole time he would have to fake levels of arousal because physical manifestations wouldn't be natural for him as far as his arousal in a humanoid state. So he would have to do that manually.
There's no shame in that.
Sure, but that's just strange that he would have to do that.
It's odd that he's even physically capable. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be hard to sort it out if you're a shapeshifter. Which I guess would make him a competent lover in a physical sense.
He's the key that can fit in any lock.
Now you said that, it makes me sad that we've never seen him pick locks.
Yeah, it's never something physical that's keeping someone from somewhere. It's always a code in a door.
So taking a step back to the episode as a whole, what did you think?
I thought this was okay.
I also got a very okay vibe from this one.
Nothing great here, but nothing that made me angry. Just middle of the road stuff.
This would have been a lot more meaningful if Odo were still a solid.
Yeah, man. What a missed opportunity. And this just shows us how they jumped the gun on returning him to changeling status.
Well, pretty much. I think this episode was actually planned whilst he was still a solid, but by the time they wrote it, he was a changeling again, so that kind of makes it weird. That being said, the romance sort of stuff is not particularly gripping.
No, it's not. And because of how she's introduced, the whole time I assumed she was playing Odo, so I didn't get any sort of connection there. I thought, oh, well, she's just playing it up, so she gets what she wants.
It's silly that her second story is basically the truth, because as a viewer, you're suspicious of that story as well. You think, it's fairly clear the first story is a ruse, but you expect everything to be a ruse, and Odo just buys into it. So Odo's supposed to be the most skeptical guy on the station or whatever, so it doesn't work when the viewers are more skeptical than he is. But then he turned out to be the truth anyway, so it's a bit kind of half-cocked.
The way they framed it completely undercuts any impact. The ending tells us, oh, see, it was all the truth, and you should have cared about this. But it's already the end, and I've spent the whole episode not caring.
Well, that's kind of a problem for the episode. If you don't have an emotional buy-in to this kind of story, then it's gonna just be a plod to get through it.
It betrays what we know of Odo. He's supposed to be suspicious of everyone, and he didn't really... I don't know what I'm saying.
He didn't demonstrate it? Or you think maybe he's just buying into it to, move the plot along, I guess. But he gives the benefit of the doubt just to keep the investigation going when he's going to turn around and say, I never really believed you. But that moment never comes.
That would have been great if we were led to believe he was falling for her, and then he reveals, no, I was actually just playing you while you were playing me. Kind of obvious, but then it goes with what we know of Odo, and then they still get to have their fun with the whole trope of dangerous damsel going to a detective.
That would have taken a lot of meaning away from his sexy first time with a humanoid.
Oh yeah, that scene wouldn't work at all.
For him to later turn around and say, I was just mucking about. All part of the investigation.
Odo loves investigations so much, he's willing to throw away his virginity for no one special.
He could just shapeshift it back. I got a very early DS9 vibe from this episode. The plot was overly self-contained. It included a bunch of random aliens that no doubt we'll never hear from again. And there's just a bunch of goofy stuff. The two bad guys were Laurel and Hardy or something.
And we had Kira and Dax gossiping.
Well, that was actually good because Worf was there. But that's the kind of stuff that plagued this series early on. I mean, the show as a whole. So this one feels a bit retro. I thought they progressed past this sort of stuff a little bit. Saying that, it's still snappily written in comparison. I particularly like Chief O'Brien saying, "Hi, Odo," when he was sticking up Bashir in the game.
There are some nice little moments like that. When Odo says, "I don't have a heart," that's a nice little joke. She's trying to pay him a compliment, but he takes it literally. He doesn't get to be flirty very often, though.
That's probably a good thing. Wouldn't want those bedroom eyes going wild. Is the phrase bedroom eyes one you're familiar with?
I've never heard that.
I'm unfamiliar with it too.
Maybe it's a future thing. We'll all be talking about bedroom eyes in the future.
It's okay, it is actually a thing. It seems kind of an obscure turn of phrase. Well, maybe obscure is the wrong word. It's not so ubiquitous that people from Bajor should have heard it.
Kira is a scholar of Earth idioms in terms of phrases.
And so is Arissa.
Oh, right.
The Odo Kira love plot has moved on, I guess.
That's the impression I get here, that that's done. We're moving in different directions now.
Although, of the two of them, Kira seemed more surprised by this. And she doesn't even know, so it was a bit strange.
After Odo became human, I wanted him to reapproach Kira and try to rekindle that somehow. Or acknowledge it in some way. But that chance is lost, and now we get this.
He was maybe waiting for her to finish being pregnant.
Yeah, that's a tricky situation.
Also to stop having a boyfriend.
Minor details.
Speaking of minor details, the Ferengi seal was still visible in Quark's bar.
Oh, yeah. I saw that and thought, why am I familiar with this? What is this? I forgot. So thank you.
Yep, Brunt slapped it there, banning Quark from trading with Ferengi. Although he still gives breakfast to Rom. Or maybe that is not monetary trade, since he just gets it from the replicator.
Also, family clause.
What, treat people in your debt like family? Exploit them? He's exploiting Rom. Oh, by racking up a huge debt. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, he's creating a tab that Rom is unaware of.
I really need to study my rules of acquisition. Did you ever imagine that Odo would have nipples?
No, that is not something I actively imagined. But when we see the shirtless Odo scene, I imagined Odo standing in front of a mirror, practicing making nipples and trying to decide what best suits him.
Yeah, designer nipples.
How do you choose?
Why would you bother? He doesn't have eyebrows, does he?
No,
So why does he bother with nipples?
that's a bridge too far.
What? Getting rid of nipples on men?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. If that's too far, then I'm glad the future is safe. He also confirmed during the bedroom scene that linking with other changelings is basically sexual. At some level, or could be considered sexual.
We joked about that, but I didn't realize they would actually confirm that.
Well, what other way to take it is there? Every time changelings link, they clearly are getting off on it. There's a pleasure hit with that. And on their homeworlds, they just do it all the time.
I will now think of those scenes very differently. It's one thing to joke that it's a sexual experience, but now we know it is, and we've had many scenes where we watch this happen.
They have no shame. They do it in front of other people. They all get on it together. The big great link. He said, in a way, it could be considered sexual, which I guess it also kind of isn't, because it's not reproductive, as far as I can tell. In fact, I have no idea how changelings reproduce. But I guess he just means in a physical sense, it's a whole lot of fun. It seemed like Odo was having quite a lot of fun in the bedroom with the lady. That was weird to me.
His confidence there was weird. I wouldn't expect him to be so comfortable and inviting and sure of himself. This is unexplored territory for him.
Not just the level of confidence that he suddenly has, but just how much he seemed to be enjoying it. All of this sort of physicality is a simulation to him.
Yeah, all the playful touching and gazing. I wouldn't expect that from Odo. It was out of character.
It would have worked if he was a solid, because then he'd have nerves that connected up to a brain that would give him good feelings.
And that would make him want to explore it further. But here it's such a switch, and we don't have a good reason for it.
It seemed slightly out of character. I wouldn't say fully out of character, but it just didn't quite fit. They saved it a bit by making him melt his hand onto her hand. That seemed more Odo-ish.
Yes, that was good. I wish they did that earlier in the scene, so then what followed could be more easily accepted.
They probably should have done something like that before the humanoid style hookup. Because to me, that seems more intimate for Odo to let someone touch his goo.
They had the perfect opening when he mentions, "Oh, I have to return to a gelatinous state." And then she says, "Oh, that must be nice," or whatever. and he could have showed her there. But I think that was too early in the relationship.
Still could have been a hook for later. I have a slightly confusing question.
Shoot.
So we see the return of Bashir's James Bond style holodeck, holosuite game.
Yes.
Or a sequel of. But this time, other people are actually playing the other characters.
That is correct.
So, if Julian Bashir, secret agent, has to beat up Falcon, does that mean he has to actually beat up O'Brien
Yep.
and kill him?
Yep.
That's usually how the James Bond stuff goes. The henchman gets it. Usually after the main plot is concluded, the henchman comes back, and then you do him in.
Well, they added they activated the invincibility cheat before going in,
But
so he won't really die.
okay, but they're still just two people in a simulated world. He actually punches him. He's really punching the real O'Brien.
The win condition is probably something where he doesn't have to punch O'Brien.
But if O'Brien is playing on the enemy team, surely they can win too. It doesn't make sense. It's a weird thing to. It's fine to call back to the James Bond game, but last time it was a coincidence that other people were playing. Now they're just doing it deliberately.
They should all be on the same team, so then they're beating up bad guys who don't exist.
Yes, then it would make sense. There's no indication from the first the game in the original episode that there was a multiplayer, multi-team aspect that would make any sense at all. Although I can't complain too much because it was very funny to see Odo knocking on the window of a moving car.
It's worth it for that gag alone. Bashir seems so defeated when he has to tell the driver to stop the car because Odo is hanging outside the car, and he knows he just broke the illusion.
Well, I got an eyeful of the illusion, and I would be equally disappointed, I'm sure. O'Brien wanted to get down with the holosuite lady, which adds to my theory that people would use holosuites for all manner of things.
Of course.
It's hardly a stretch of the imagination.
But he's a married man with 2 kids.
So it's just a fantasy. It's not real. Does it matter if he gets jiggy with a hologram?
I don't know. I guess it depends on the relationship. Is that considered cheating?
Well, is it cheating? No, I don't think so. You're not emotionally invested in it.
What if he becomes addicted?
Then it'll turn into that extremely silly Next Generation episode where Riker falls in love with a holodeck lady and keeps taking her to restaurants.
That sounds awful.
I think it was season 2 or something. It was an early one. It's like early DS9. There's quite a few episodes which are a bit questionable, although I don't think that one was too bad.
The episode in question is Next Generation Season 1, Episode 15, and it is called 11001001. Or is it called 11,000,001?
Odo was sloppy as well. They went to those quarters and then beamed to his quarters, and then he walks out the door of his quarters. He should have beamed back and then left.
But then that way, if he were being observed, the person would think she is under constant surveillance of Odo within the same room.
Yeah, until they see him on the promenade or something. As soon as he did that, the point of beaming was lost.
It was. Good point. Odo was also sloppy when he took out the two guys from the rafters. He should have shapeshifted into an anvil or something on his way down.
God, that would have been so awesome.
But he kept his human form, which is not great at landing from high heights.
Well, it doesn't matter for him. If he just breaks his legs, he just reforms them back to normal. Oh,
Also,
if he had turned into an anvil, that would have been glorious. Just this little bird flies in, and both of them just turns into an anvil.
Oh, that's even better.
He also punches the guy that's unarmed for a really long time.
Only one of them has a gun. I'll go for the other guy first.
I like that he one-punched the gun guy, because he should one-punch everyone. His muscle density and stuff is completely arbitrary, so he can punch as hard as is physically possible, I guess. He should be able to just punch through walls if he wants. But yes, terrible choice of prioritization. It's a good thing gun guy was a complete idiot.
Why do the idiots always have the guns?
I don't know.
Maybe he thought, well, if the shapeshifter is keeping an eye on us, he'll surely attack the guy with the gun first, so you hold the gun. That will keep me safe.
Oh, you know what would have been best of all? If we saw Odo skulking around in the rafters, and then it just cut back to them, and completely unprovoked, this anvil just drops on them. There's no leading to it. Thunk! And then he just shifts back to you, and he's like, yep, thought that would work. Oh, that would be a bit Edgar Wright, I suppose.
I would have loved it. It wouldn't even bother me that Odo should have no idea what an anvil is.
Well, he reads about it in his Tortured Tales of Blacksmithing novels, which he has never alluded to reading. Do you have a simple quote from the show?
Most people can't see past the surface, especially when what they see is so beautiful.
He didn't need to mention the beauty, really. People are terrible at critically analyzing things, especially other people's motives and stuff.
But that allowed him to subtly hit on her. Accidentally, because he didn't realize what he was saying. Whoops, I paid you a compliment.
He really stumbled into a sexy relationship. That doesn't really happen.
Which is why I thought she had ulterior motives.
Pretty much.
It doesn't make sense.
He accidentally flirted it up repeatedly and wooed her. I guess he was just in the zone. The love zone. Perhaps we should scratch the surface of the next episode.
Oh, we should do more than scratch the surface. We
something
should also...
about beauty.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Okay.